Hi folks, Steven here. So I'm gearing up for U.S. Nationals next weekend, and I wanted to let you know about something else I'm doing this week. I'm actually recording another episode of the Train Station at 8 video game music podcast on this Tuesday the 30th. You may remember I was on an episode last year where we talked about the Pokemon anime dub first season theme, which was a little bit unusual for them, but nonetheless video game related in a way. And this new episode we're doing this week, I want to let you know that we're getting a second guest on there. I had suggested that they use Makoto from Pikachu Podcast, which of course is the Pokemon anime podcast. They're about to do their Movie 4 episode coming up soon, but I thought she would be a good person to bring on there. And so she'll be on this episode as well. The topic is licensed music in regards to games. Specifically, I pitched it to them as, is blank a Pokemon song? Because that's an interesting question. You may remember a couple years ago I did a segment specific to Flying Without Wings on this channel, and I kind of want to broaden it and talk about it some more. So before the episode goes and gets recorded this week, I really did want to get some input from you folks. The way it's going to work, at least as far as I think, is that it's going to be stuff that was not written as Pokemon music, but is still associated with it in one way or the other. Mostly this is going to be from movies 1 and 2. And, I kind of wanted to know, how important are a couple of key characteristics. First of all, how closely associated is the song with Pokemon? So, for example, Don't Say You Love Me was very minorly rewritten for the movie. But there is, of course, the music video. It has a Pokemon version where they splice in scenes from the movie, which personally I think enhances it a lot. And I was wondering if that was important to you folks as well. And then on the other side, we have situations like Flying Without Wings, which I mentioned earlier. It was a big radio single in '99 in the UK and Ireland and much of Europe. But in America, that didn't really happen, and a lot of people's introduction to the song was through the second movie. The next thing I want to bring up is, how well matched are the songs. For example, We're a Miracle, not written for the first movie. There is an alternate version, but it was just an alternate version. Both versions were recorded before the movie came out. But the stuff that, is metaphorical in the song, the tears, the storm, that actually happens in the movie, and we get that, so it ends up matching up really well, I think. On the flip side, you have Get Happy, which, although I like it musically, and it's a good party song, I think I'm kind of put off by the mention of Brontosaurus in the first verse. There's, technically not a real-world animal, thanks to some paleologic discoveries, and definitely not a Pokemon. So that, I don't know if that takes you out. It does kind of take me out of the song a little bit, but I do like it musically as well. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, a lot of these songs, or some of them anyway, have alternate versions. Sometimes they're remixes, sometimes there's other versions by the same artist, but in some cases there are other versions by other artists. So, for example, Making My Way Any Way That I Can. There are versions of that song by, Billy Piper's on the first movie, but before that there was, Winona Judd, Marsha Hines, and afterwards there was an ensemble cast version by some of the people who worked on Faking the Video, which was an MTV reality show in the early 2000s. They did a version of the song as well. And I went, somewhere someday, NSYNC has the version on the first movie, but before that there was the Jennifer Page version. And, if you listen to PIRN, you're familiar with a lot of these alternate versions. And I was wondering if that colors your thoughts in any way as to whether or not these count as Pokemon songs, having versions that were before or in some cases after that use that song. So basically that's the gist of it there. I want to know what your thoughts are. Which songs qualify as Pokemon songs by your standards? And one thing I'm curious is this a hard yes or no? Or are there degrees of Pokemon-ness for these songs? And are there any other criteria out there that you sort of makes you judge these things? And maybe as a special bonus question, are there any things that are definitely Pokemon songs that are sort of exclusive to it? that you don't think maybe qualify as a true Pokemon song. One that comes to my mind is Nobody Don't Like Christmas from the Christmas Bash CD. There's no mention that I can recall of anything specifically Pokemon related in there other than the fact that Meowth sings it. So those are some thoughts there. Please give me yours. Give me some comments or emails or, comment on Twitter, whatever you want to do. Just get those to me by Tuesday, the 30th, so I can think about those and maybe bring some of them up during the episode. Thanks.